Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are about 3.5 weeks out from PSL, so things are ramping up very quickly in training. I just got to the gym for a press day. On paper, it doesn't really look like a lot, but it is going to end up being a long session just by nature of the event. So there's a couple different press variations in this show, but the only full press event, like not part of another medley, is what we're training today. So it's a fixed axle, a kettlebell, and a keg, 1 rep of each, twice through, so 6 total reps. I have not gotten to comp weight on any of those things today, so it looks like the game plan today is to work up on each implement individually as close to comp weight as we can get. So on the axle, that is 210. The kettlebell will be tricky. Our heaviest kettlebell here is 88 pounds, and it has been fairly easy. Our comp weight is 106, so I'm not super worried about it, but I haven't touched higher than 88 because we don't have that here, so I might try to figure out how to strap some weight to it, or that might just have to wait until I can go to a different gym and have access to different kettlebells. And then the kicker today is going to be the keg. The keg press has been kicking my ass. I'm actually pretty excited to work up on the axle today. That's been going fairly well. I hate the fixed axle. It makes it way harder, but I am slowly getting used to it, and I do feel confident in hitting comp weight on that. Keg has been a nightmare. I cannot figure out how to press a keg, so I'm actually going to be meeting up with Zack and he's going to help me with that. So my plan is to get my axle, like work up to my axle. I have 2 singles between 200 and 215, so basically comp weight. I'll probably do the kettlebell individually. I'll spend some time working with Zack on keg and see if he can fix whatever is going on with that. Hopefully get close to comp weight on that as well. I have not hit over 160, and then our comp weight is 180. And unfortunately, our kegs, we have a 160 and a 180 and nothing in between. So my hope is that we can hit the 180 finally today. I have not hit it yet successfully. And then after working up each individually, I'm going to drop the weight and run the event like as it's like the contest event. So it looks like my weights for that are going to be 185 on the axle, hopefully 100-ish on the kettlebell if I can figure out how to add weight. And then best case scenario, they want me to shoot for the 180 keg in the medley. More likely, I'm probably going to have to drop that to the 160 because that one's still pretty challenging. And then I have, it looks like, 2 rounds of the medley at below comp weight. So it's not like a lot of stuff, but it's time-consuming things. So that should take a while. I don't have too many accessories. I have some back, kind of upper body push-pull and arms for accessories. So it actually is a decent volume. So I think I'm going to be here for a while. I'm also, as much as it's a pain, it takes time, but I've been trying to do all my pressing outside because it does make a big difference pressing outside versus inside, and the contest is outside. So I'm going to go get all of that set up and get warmed up, and I will see you out there probably like an hour from now once I finally get everything going. All right, we're all set up outside with our pseudo fixed axle. That's what the bands are for. So wrapping them around the bar on the inside, up and over the plates, and then around the bar basically keeps the plates from spinning at all, which if you haven't ever pressed with a fixed axle, that's what makes it so much harder. You don't really think about it, but when you flip into the clean and you're holding the bar spins, but the plates don't because they're not attached. But on a fixed axle, they're all attached. So that flip, if you're holding the bar, in order for the bar to rotate, all of the plates have to rotate too, which as you get heavy, that's just a lot of mass to move, and it doesn't really spin the same. So it's tricky on that flip and catch into the rack position. You kind of have to let go of the bar so that it doesn't spin, and it just like bumps up. You kind of let go and recatch it, and it is terrifying, but I do feel like I am slowly getting used to it. So this will be my first fixed set of the day. We have 175 on there currently. I'll probably take a couple jumps up, but starting here, I did warm-ups at 135, 155, 165, 175 will be my first fixed set, and then we'll go up from there. Alright, I'm going up to 195 next, which isn't a super ideal weight jump, but these bands are such a pain to take on and off. Usually once it's fixed, I'll take pretty big jumps because ideally you want as much of the weight to be fixed as possible, instead of just like putting change plates over the top of it. So I'll usually take fairly big jumps just because I don't want to do this a billion times. So we're at 195 now, and at this point I'll probably just put change plates on the outside because most of the weight will be fixed. We'll see. I should redo the bands for all the weights, but it's just a fucking pain in the ass. Holy back pump. Alright, I actually made it an even bigger jump by adding 2.5s because I realized that my working sets for the day is just 2 singles between 200 and 215. So 195 seemed kind of silly. This also might be a silly jump, but I'm lazy and I didn't want to do 2 more sets. That was kind of shit, but it wasn't hard. That was just sloppy. Alright, well, sometimes my legs just decide not to work, but overall, that didn't feel bad. I think the weight kind of surprised me because it was admittedly a pretty big jump, but that is the most that I have cleaned on the fixed axle. It was a little bit slower, expectedly, into that catch. I think in part because it was a big weight jump and it felt heavy. I think I can clean that up, but overall I'm happy with that, especially with how easy the press was considering my legs didn't do their job. My program says 200 to 215 today. Comp weight is 210, so I think I'm gonna put 210 on the bar, and I've just got one more single there for my like heavy work on axle. Alright, well, done there. Alright, well that's comp weight. The good news is the weight doesn't feel too bad. The bad news is my legs seemingly don't want to participate at all. But I guess that's a relief that I know I can hit comp weight even if my legs decide to be offline on the day, which is not ideal. That'll be my focus over the next couple weeks, is trying to get my legs to work. I know especially when it gets heavy, and especially when I'm outside, the balance is a little bit wonky and my legs have a tendency to not want to function. I think in an attempt to find stability when my balance is off, but I do need to work on that because I think running that twice through, by the time I get to that again as my 4th rep, I might not have as much juice left in the tank. So that will have to be a focus. But that's a wrap on that. I have my 2 heavy singles. We'll leave that set up and come back to that when we put it all together. I messed up and I put 195 worth of bumpers on there, even though my drop down weight is supposed to be 185. So I might leave it at 195 just because I don't want to fuck with the bands again, depending on how Keg goes. So Zack should be here in a few minutes. We're going to do a bunch of technique work with the Keg. Hopefully try to get up close to comp weight on that. I'll probably skip the kettlebell because I know that I'm not going to have an issue with the heaviest one that we have here. And then we'll put it all together. So I think Zack will probably be cool with me filming the stuff with him. So hopefully we can all learn something. Cool. Just got one more single there, and then we got to do the whole medley.
Hell yeah.
Sick. All right, so I just got done keg pressing with Zack. I lied to you guys. I'm actually going to crop that out of today's video and post that segment after the competition because he was able to fix everything about my keg. We got comp weight, and I don't really want to share that yet with the other girls in my class. So we're going to cross that out and move on to the medley. So I've got 195 on the axle still. I might need to rewarm that up a little bit, but we're going to go 2 run-throughs of axle, kettlebell, keg. I'm going to shoot for the comp weight 180 on the keg for the first run-through. I'm not sure how it's going to go in the medley, and then play it by ear and stay there. But I'm very excited about how that went. Yep.
Athlete, take your position. Set. Go. Down. Down. Big pop, big pop. Commit. Down.
Time.
30 seconds. Down.
Holy glute pump.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember if this is a 60-second or a 75-second event, but
I think
60 seconds is quick. All right, I'm actually very happy with that as a first run through. Obviously, I did not get it in the time cap, but getting pretty close to comp weights. That was my first time hitting all of the reps, even if it was a little bit slower than it needed to be. So I'm actually thrilled with that. I'm going to do one more run. Bring the keg down to 160 instead of 180 and see if I can actually complete it in the time cap. 60 seconds is very fast for 2 run-throughs of this. You really have to be moving the whole time. And then I know at the end it's laser time, so it's not, time isn't when you get a down call, time is after you put it down and you have to run through a laser. So you kind of have to finish short of the time cap. And I think that's going to be a pretty big ask. So I'm going to do one more run, 195, 88, 160, so everything's under comp weight, just to see about the pacing required to get it done in 60 seconds.
Come on, let's go.
And that is a wrap. That last run through was exactly a minute. So that is a relief in knowing that it is possible to get it done in under a minute. But it's not going to be easy. There's definitely a few spots in there I probably could have shaved off some time, but I don't think a lot. Like, getting that done in the time cap is going to mean consistent movement, no misses, being very efficient, which is cool. It's exciting. It's going to be very, very challenging, but I am confident now after today that it is doable. It was a huge mental win getting comp weight on the keg, even just like standalone. Getting that on the keg, even more of a confidence boost, getting it for at least the first rep of the first run through of the medley. So I know that I can do it as part of the medley too, which is really exciting. So I'm feeling a lot better about that event overall. I was really worried about that, especially as the first event of the show. I was like, that's going to be a potentially shitty event to start with. So I'm feeling way better about that. Thank God. The rest of today is not super exciting. I've just got a bunch of upper body accessories, some dumbbell rows, straight arm pull downs, incline press, biceps, triceps, face pulls. So nothing super exciting. So I'll leave you guys there for today. As always, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. It really helps the channel go a long way. Let me know in the comments things you want to see, questions you have, etc., etc. And I will see you for one of my sessions next week.